Hello all inderesTV viewers and listeners. Neste published their third quarter results today, and we have here company's new CEO Heikki Malinen with us today. Hello Heikki, and welcome to interview.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here today.
And first of all, congrats on the appointment of the company's new CEO.
Thank you. It's my 8th day, can you believe it? So I'm still early days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have been here less than 2 weeks, but you actually know the company quite well because you have been part of a company's board already. So can you say, it has been a tough year for Neste, but how would you assess the company's current situation?
Yeah, well, first of all, I was on the board for 1 year, so I have that perspective, and I said 8 days in this CEO role. Let me answer the short and long-term perspective.
Sure.
I think, Neste, of course, was the first mover in this industry. We are the pioneer when you look at these renewable fuels, and we still are the pioneer. The last years were very, very good. We made a lot of money when we were the old only player in the sector. This year has been tough. As you know, prices have fallen quite dramatically. Competition has increased, and consequently earnings have dropped quite materially. Last year we made over a billion in comparable EBITDA. This year, and so far, in the third quarter, we made only barely 300. So it's a big drop. And it's not something that we're happy about. No one in Neste wanted to be in this situation. But I think what's important is we understand the situation, and we have a very strong commitment to improve.
Exactly. If we then think about going forward, what are your key focus areas as a new CEO of the company?
Yeah, I like the word focus because I think leading a large corporation with this global footprint, focus is super important. First of all, what we have now done is we have launched a what I call full potential program. We will analyze over the next few months the company in its entirety in such a way that we're looking at the revenue side, the commercial side, we're looking at costs, both fixed and variable, and then we're looking at the asset base, including working capital. So idea is to look at the big picture, then come down and zero in on those opportunities where we think we have the biggest levers that we can improve, focusing on things we can control. And out of that analysis, in the new year, we will present then a plan to, of course, our own people, and then to the broader audience on how we're going to take the company forward. I think Neste is a great company. We have great people. The foundations are good, but the market is at the moment what it is, and we need to be realistic and move on from here.
If we then move on to recent numbers, you today released third quarter results. How would you summarize company's performance and results today?
Yeah, I think the industry and the sector in itself is a bit, has a bit of a tough time. So I think if you look more broadly, this hasn't been probably an easy year for anyone. But it doesn't matter because we're only doing this, focusing on Neste only. I think when we do the plan, I think it'll be obvious. We need to further become much more intimate with our customers. Customer intimacy, commercial excellence will have to become better in Neste. We have had operational challenges in some of our facilities in Neste. Operational excellence will have to have even higher focus in the company. And then on capital, I would just say that we're investing heavily at the moment. We have had just the Singapore second line expansion, which has been completed. We are doing the modification in Rotterdam 1, Rotterdam 2, a huge facility is being constructed. So the company is spending a lot of capital in this industry. And for that reason, we also, this is cyclical industry, we need to look at the balance sheet. And if I look at our leverage, I see the trend going up, and we're reaching a point where I think it's good to a little bit slow down the CapEx spend. And that was the reason why now when I made a decision to the board, which the board has blessed, that we will stop the plans to do the investment in Porvoo on the electrolyzer. We will think about another way how we can cut the emissions.
Like you said already, market for renewable products has been tough this year. But if we dive a little bit deeper, how would you describe the recent development and the outlook of the renewable products?
Yeah, Renewable products is a growth industry, both in terms of the diesel side and the SAF side. The SAF, of course, it's exciting. Obviously, the kerosene market is huge, and the airline industry is an industry where there isn't really another way how you can cut emissions other than SAF. You can upgrade your airplane into something new and you have less fuel consumption. But on the fuel side, SAF is the only solution available at the moment. And we have, as a company, we have product available. So that is where we see the future. It's very hard to make accurate forecasts about demand growth. What we know in Europe in particular is that the mandates are coming next year. They're kicking in 2%. That'll go until 2029, and then 2030 we have 6% is the mandate. And the question really, which is kind of on everybody's mind, is how much voluntary demand will there be beyond the mandate? And I think that's a tough question to ask. I mean, not ask, but it's a tough question to answer. And I think it's tough to answer in the sense that airlines want to reduce their emissions, but the economy is not doing very well. We've had inflation, rates are high, and I think airline CEOs, of course, are trying to find the right balance between their own objectives and then the realities of their business. So we'll just have to say, we'll have to see.
Exactly. There's quite a lot going on the regulation field. One big potential change is that the move from the blender's tax credit to a production-based credit. How do you comment on impact of this change and Neste, and when do you expect to get clarity of the new regulation?
Yeah. So basically the idea here, just for those in your audience who are not familiar with it, because there's a lot of these complex, 3-4 letter words in these industries that I'm still learning. But I mean, the basic U.S. point of view is that they will incentivize production made in the United States. So if you're producing outside of the United States, you would not get these incentives. That's the basic idea in the U.S. regulation. And we understand that the regulation is coming. It will happen eventually, but we don't know yet. Is it going to be next year or the year after? It is possible that the producers, the blenders tax will remain for another year, but we just don't know. We have the election coming in the U.S. in 2 weeks' time, and I think we just have to see what happens after that. So to your second question about what do we do if this happens, the strength of Neste is that we have a platform we can produce around the world. So we have the potential to optimize our production. And the first order of business will be to see how can we maximize the optimization potential. That's kind of that's the first solution to the problem, so to speak. And then we'll see where we go.
Like you said, there will be USA presidential election in less than 2 weeks. How did you comment if either Harris or Trump will be selected? How would that affect Neste sales in the United States?
Yeah. Well, the U.S. as a market is extremely important. It's a huge market, and strategically, the U.S. economy is very robust, and it's an exciting place to do business. So for Neste, the U.S. is very important. I think my sense is I followed the U.S. market for years, so in general, I think both candidates, they see that there's potential in developing the industry. They probably have different perspectives on how they would like to do it, right? And maybe different techniques on how they want to do it. I think the green transition will continue, but we'll just have to see what the Americans want to do. Is it Mr. Trump or Madam Harris? So we'll find out soon.
And we will find out soon.
Yeah.
If we then discuss about your production sites, can you comment how does your production sites differ in terms of efficiency? Is a modern refinery more efficient compared to the older sites?
Right. Obviously, if you build, this is a scale business, right? So you have to have scale in terms of sourcing of feedstock, scale in logistics, and then, of course, scale in production. Ultimately, it comes down to the cost per ton. As we go into the next, future, this becomes a more competitive game. And when you're a competitive game, it's scale. So your fixed cost per ton goes down, right? And then it's all about efficiency. I think our facilities are world class. We have all the potential to make good money with these assets. So I think the company's made smart decisions. It's impossible to time these perfectly when the market is growing like it is. But I think we're going to have a world class footprint.
If we still continue a little bit with the production, One key topic of this year has been ramping up the new production in Singapore.
Yeah.
And the production issues at Martinez. Can you update us on the situation regarding the ramp up on both of them?
Yeah, so in Singapore, we've now had the 8-week maintenance on line number 2, which is a new line, and we will be ready for full capacity by the end of the year. And on Martinez also, work has been done with our important partner, and my understanding is that we will also be ready for full production at the end of the year. So, good work from the teams in both areas.
Yes. Volumes are expected to grow next year, but can you comment, is there enough demand on the market to sell those higher volumes?
Yeah, I think we've talked a bit about that in the beginning, right? I mean, the mandates are coming. The US is also incentivizing demand, so that's positive. I think it comes down to this voluntary question, how much voluntary demand will be. It's very difficult to make accurate projections. I want to come back to this question that whatever demand is going to be in the near term, long term, this is an exciting industry. Greenhouse gases have to be cut, and Neste is really well positioned to take advantage of this opportunity. But the journey will not be linear. This is important. It's not a linear journey, it's a non-linear journey, and it can be volatile. So those are some of the challenges of the industry, that it is not linear.
Hey, thank you so much for all the comments, Heikki, and best of luck as a new CEO of the company.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much.